Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. As you may notice my background, I'm recording in my apartment. That is because I forgot to record in my car right after my workout like I have been doing as of late, and that's because I was thinking about going to the store to get some donuts for my students tomorrow, because tomorrow is my last regular day. The last 3 school days next week I will be at camp, so I won't see all my 5th graders. I'll be with some of my 4th graders, and we'll be at camp the last 3 days, which should be very fun. But because of that, I'm doing a little party for them tomorrow, a little end of the school year thing, since well, that's what I'm doing. But in my workout today, I did some front squats, really light, 205 for 4 sets of 3. Push press, it was 135 for 4 sets of 3. Did some bench press of 4 sets of 4, I believe, with 205, and did some back work, some, I guess they're kind of Pendlay rows, or some sort of variation of rows, but I wanted to go lighter with them and to just kind of continuously do them without the kind of the Pendlay model of just, you know, letting it restarting after each rep with that. Then I did some seated rows as well as some weightlifting stuff, very light. I worked up to 65 pounds for the snatches, and I just did a little bit of mechanic work. Same with the clean and jerk, you know, I think it was 115 pounds, nothing too radical as far as that goes. I did some ab work and some pull-ups, tried to do a muscle up, can't do a muscle up because I haven't practiced it in quite a while, and it's something that kind of want to do in the summer, but if I don't, I'm not going to be heartbroken. But it's something, if I practice for a bit, I should be able to do, and it's something, I don't know, mess around with a little bit in the summer, so maybe you'll see some of that sort of shenanigans with that all. But all in all, it was a very good workout. Everything went well. Feel very good right now. My lower back, that was kind of type before, is pretty much fine now. It's mostly just kind of my hip thing that's been a thing for a while, so I'm going to do some massage and all of that fun shenanigans and get all of that work done. But if that's all, if you came here just to listen to me talk about my workout, that's it. I also wanted to talk a little bit about a little politics. I'm listening to a podcast by Sam Harris where he's interviewing, and I forget this lady's name, but she's very far left, very, I would describe actually being regressive because she's very silly. She's criticizing Donald Trump. They're talking about the potential impeachment and all of that sort of stuff. I don't think he'll be impeached. Well, I guess I should say I'm leaning towards the probability that he won't be impeached rather than for sure not being impeached. I think it's unlikely, but it is a possibility, I suppose, with that. But they're talking about it and criticizing Trump for all the dumb stuff he says and does, and that's fine and dandy because he says and does a lot of dumb stuff. You know, whether you agree with some of his policies or not, he's pretty dumb about a lot of things with his tweets and how he handles a lot of things, even how he handles the executive orders and different things like that. So he's definitely could do a lot of that a lot better, but he's very unrefined and he's very narcissistic, which, you know, it is what it is with that. But she spent some of the time criticizing the media, which is very true. She's like, she criticized the White House media, which is fine, you know, whatever, but then spent a little bit of time saying, well, it's some of the mainstream media, particularly Fox News, with it. I don't think she realizes, and this is sort of this mental block I think a lot of people on the left have with left media. It's not, I'm not against that media, but it is a huge reason why Donald Trump won. It's a huge reason why a lot of people didn't go out to vote, because he said, oh, Hillary's for sure gonna win, he has no chance, he's a buffoon, and then he wins because nobody went out to vote for the Democrats, or at least not enough people did to where she could win the Electoral College. And they spent all this time bashing Trump, giving him free publicity when they shouldn't have even bothered talking about him, and he wouldn't have been relevant because he doesn't have that good of policies, or at least he wouldn't have been able to propagate whatever he was talking about a lot easier for free. He didn't have to spend a lot of money on advertising because the left media would just do it for him, because they said, look at this crazy stuff he said there, and millions of dollars for free in advertising. And I don't think she realizes the impact that the left media has. You're going to criticize Fox News. Fox News is going to like anyone that's on the right that is running for president. That is, by default, they're the right media. Not the right as in correct, but on the right side of the political spectrum. Of course they're going to like whoever the Republican candidate is. That makes perfect sense. They're going to defend him and do all of that. Just like the left media did with, you know, whatever stuff Obama did, for better or for worse with that. And it's very silly to only criticize Fox News. Fox News isn't the problem. The problem is all the media. All the media. It's not all fake news, but there's a lot of crap that's out, a lot of slanted media. Places like CNN will just outright lie about things. A perfect example is when they had riots in one city, and they had one of the sisters of the person that was shot by a cop, who was a black woman, and she was calling for violence in the white neighborhoods. Well, they cut her off to make it seem like they said, like, stop the violence, and make it seem like she's, Martin Luther King. But then after someone posted the full video of that, she said, like, quit doing all this rioting stuff here, take it to the suburbs, get the white people, essentially, with that. And, not a comment on that sort of story itself, but CNN intentionally did that to propagate a certain political view or a certain idea that they wanted to do. They didn't just report the news. And that's perhaps the easiest way, I think, to criticize someone like Donald Trump, is just report what he says and just go like, I don't even know how to even address this, but just report it. The people, so often I see when I watch the mainstream media, and a lot of criticism of the mainstream media is that they put their political slant on every news story. They need to just say, here's what he's saying, and that's it. You could say, this is my opinion of it, but state the facts, then give your opinion and make it obvious that it's your opinion. Don't present it in such a way that it's obviously slanted, because then people aren't going to pay attention to what you have to say. Present just the bare facts, then give your opinion. But the media is biased, and that's fine. And I watch media that is biased. All media, I think, is, whatever level that you're looking at. But if you look at someone like a David Rubin, obviously he's like a libertarian, left, classical liberal or any of that. But when you listen to him, he'll just talk about ideas. He'll do different things like that. But it's not so slanted. You're not looking at it just thinking, oh, he's going to immediately argue for this point because he's in this box with it. But if you watch CNN or Fox News, they're going to argue from a perspective that, whatever perspective that they are on the political spectrum, they're going to argue every point in that area. They don't have any room for nuance or to have a complex view or to have mixed views. Because you see someone like Tomi Lahren, who says she's for abortion because she's for small government, just get destroyed on the right because she doesn't follow every single thing on the right. I think if people are being intellectually honest with politics, their politics are going to be bouncing all over the place. They're not going to just sit on one just straight line and just have all these views by default that falls in line with some sort of a group. That's groupthink, and that's sort of the sort of thinking mentality that I can't get behind, because it smells a lot like communism, and I think communism kind of stinks with that. And people on both sides of the political spectrum, ironically, fall into this sort of groupthink echo chamber idea, and it's propagated a lot more by the internet and finding online communities that cater to ideas that currently sound good to you. I think it's important for a lot of people, every single person I should say, to listen to ideas that they know they're going to disagree with. Not even like, well, maybe no, for sure you're going to feel like this is stupid, because at worst, you're going to think they're stupid. You're going to have more evidence of why your ideas are correct. But at worst, you're going to have a little bit more nuance. You're going to think of a different way of thinking of what you think. You may change your mind a little bit. You may have a different view on something in particular, but you may have a better way at thinking about why you think the way that you do. Not just, I think abortion is this because of this, or whatever topic that you want to pick, but you can say, I think this because of this, this, and this, and you can defend what you think with reasons and evidence and logic. And most people don't want to do that. They just want to follow the political line of whatever arbitrary political party that they decide to be a part of. And I think that's just a rather silly way to approach the world of so many different ideas, when you can spend so much time thinking and being a complex person and complex politically, when a lot of people just simply don't with that. But I'll end my little bit of a political ramble here. Let me know what you think of this at the end of the video. I tried to split them up so they're pretty even. If you came here for the fitness, that's first, and all the political shenanigans is second. So let me know what you think about the workout stuff as well as the political rambling. So yeah, leave those all down below, and hope you all have a wonderful day.